My name is Albert Nguyen, and I'll be discussing how the portrayal of environments influence narrative and how an audience experiences a film. When I watch a movie, one of the first things I try to understand is the setting. What kind of world are we in? The overall narrative of a movie can be found rooted in the environments that a film takes place in. If we're met with beautiful, fancy, pristine buildings, we might expect elements of sophistication and intellect that we associate with the people who inhabit these places. Or if we're met with the ruins of places we go to every day, we know that something's off and there might be some trouble. Settings are important to establish the foundations of the stories we experience. However, the environments that we see can be more than just pretty backdrops. The way a director chooses to design their world and how they present them to an audience can provide insight on the themes and messages that a filmmaker integrates into their films. In this video, we will discuss 3 films, The Fourth Portrait, Shoplifters, and Hero, and how these films utilize and capture their environments to enhance their stories. The Fourth Portrait presents a beautiful yet haunting view of the Taiwanese countryside. Expansive fields of reeds are host to deteriorating buildings, and off in the distance, factories and their smokestacks line the horizon with what seems to be industry taking over nature. These views reflect a changing Taiwan in its attempts to catch up to an industrialized, capitalistic, global society. These rapid changes evoke sentiments that the people of this village are slowly losing what they know as home. These greater sentiments parallel Xiang's journey through this film. After the loss of his father, he's taken in by his estranged mother and his new stepfather, who only sees the child as a new burden.
吃饭，饭粒掉到处都是，去给医生看一下。
After the loss of his original home, Xiang must find a new home in spaces that do not welcome him. His new home with his mother and stepdad is dark and only lit with sparing lights. His room in the home looks nothing more than a prison cell. Even in the outside world, the places Xiang inhabits are anything but homely. This is really emphasized through the camera work in the film. Xiang is very small compared to the rest of his surroundings, which are usually dirty playgrounds or broken buildings. Certain techniques like framing within a frame or handheld shots are used to show how Xiang is trapped and isolated in this situation. It is only with his pseudo-guardians, the janitor and handgun, does the world open up for little Xiang. It comes with the ease of knowing that he is being cared for by people who seem to genuinely care for his well-being, that Xiang can relax in the moment. Shoplifters really stood out to me when I watched it. Something I think the film does really well is its efforts to allow the audience to absorb and appreciate the settings they're presented with. This is mainly done through long and still takes called pillow shots. The pillow shots are usually still shots of the world and the environment in the film, seemingly unrelated to the characters or plot at hand. However, it's during these shots that the audience can take the time to reflect on the film and its themes. In some of these scenes, we can see how Korada uses the environment to tell us more about the relationship between this family. There are many beautiful and warm scenes that show how strong these family bonds are. On the flip side, in some of these pillow shots, the ways parts of the environment can obscure key characters and points can also give us a feeling that something's off about this family. Some of the most standout environments that I think back on when I remember this film are the moments on the beach. The film has a strong connection with water. Symbolic meanings of water, such as purity and change, match the conditions of this unusual family. Many displays of this family's bonds are with locations connected to water. It is in these scenes that the bonds between this family of misfits are proven to be real and legitimate, beyond blood. Hero does so much with its visual storytelling in its environments. Inspired by the works of Akira Kurosawa's Ran, Zhang creates a strong visual signature of sweeping scale and vibrant colors. A core theme of this film is Tian Xie, or All Under Heaven. The locations we visit in this film are never understated. Even in a vast desert, we can understand its massive scale when large monuments or huge armies cut through it. Framing the environments like this is a way for this film to celebrate the lands of China and its natural beauty. These huge master shots not only help emphasize the scale and beauty of the world, but it also reinforces the power of our characters. All the major characters are placed center frame within the environment. With the help of the scale of the environments that the characters take up, the point is driven that these are no mere assassins, but near deified beings that were influential in shaping early China. The most unique element in Hero and how it presents its environments is the use of color. The story of Hero is mainly one big flashback, but through each iteration of the story told, major plot points and details significantly change. With each iteration of the story, the dominating color of the environment changes. This serves two purposes. One, it helps the audience separate which continuity of the story they are in. And two, by changing the color, we can expect significant changes to the emotion of the story. So even if we visit the same room multiple times, the events and character dynamics in each iteration will be completely different. In the red version, there is a lot more action that occurs than the other versions. This is also matched with the relationship between Flying Snow and Broken Sword, where they are at odds with each other.
不知小姐听清了没有？主人向小姐借朱砂，
叫他自己过来。
In the blue version, Snow and Sword have a much different dynamic, and the story is much more sorrowful.
我们要去，
去，就是死，
死就一起死。
And finally, we get the final version of the story colored in white, the truth.
臣要向他们证明，臣的剑不仅快，且精准无误。
Environments are the foundations of the narratives and themes of a film. Depending on how they're presented, they can greatly enhance the messages of the film and the viewer's experience. With the detailed context, camera work, and colors, the environments of a film become so much more than just eye candy. They become beautiful messages within themselves.